always be selfish and self-serving, and remind yourself that you're going to work for yourself. You are there to serve yourself and your self-interest. What is the best place and how are you going to deploy your time to best serve the only person that matters in your life, which is you?
Hey everybody, welcome to Identity Unveiled. We are a lifestyle platform that talks about career, beauty, health, and to help support the advancement of Asian American women to the executive ranks.
My name is Dandan Zhu and I'm from New York, and I got into the business of agency recruiting at a very young age, and I built a sales career. And then I got into real estate investing, and that helped me become financially free by the age of 28, where I left corporate and went very heavy on content creation, learning all the different platforms, specifically focused on LinkedIn to share all the information I gained as a headhunter in my career. In 2018, I started my own recruitment firm, and I've built my following based on my expertise in that area, as well as sharing my story across many other social media platforms. So I'm a big advocate of leveraging social media and modern day marketing tools to spread the word far and wide about your expertise, your background, and what sets you apart from other people who do the same type of work. So I'm really excited to share with you some tips, tricks, some insights into what content creation looks like in a business setting, and how you can leverage different platforms and work processes to help you highlight and do PR for yourself.
How did you start in the beginning as a content creator and get going?
I made a conscious effort to start really using LinkedIn for what it could do, which I didn't even do before in my recruiting job. Even though I did 5 years in executive search as well as niche pharmaceutical recruitment, I've always done more of what I call sales 1.0, which is cold calling, networking, all the old stuff that is really off the internet. And in 2016, when I went independent, I was just like, I have so much in my heart that I want to share with people. Why don't I try putting that out into article form on LinkedIn? That's a good starting point, as well as posting, daily posts about the different career coaching elements that I wanted people to know about, because genuinely I felt that so many candidates lack the knowledge that headhunters have to give them. So in the beginning, it was just very organic, where I had these stories, I had these tips that I wanted people to know about. Then it became creating commentary on things that impacted the business world. And I then started talking about things like controversies at the time. So like James Damore, when he wrote that crazy manifesto that was insanely inappropriate, like those are great content pieces to start bringing a different perspective. So all of these different opportunities created this habit of getting used to sharing my views on certain topics. Some of it is organic for me, some of it is also looking at what's happening in the current situation that's trending, as well as trying out different platforms. So I started writing articles on Quora.com. Now Quora at the time also gets you a lot of publicity across different actual news outlets. So that's how I started getting featured in Inc. and Time and Apple News and all these, HuffPost, that's how they do the syndication. They take what you write and then they syndicate it out. So it was actually really incentivizing for me, because as you see the follower count grow, it's telling you that you're doing something meaningful, that people are interacting with what you're bringing to the table. So it was just getting to that habit of using my voice, creating content regularly and consistently, and nothing was off limits.
And what do you consider yourself as a national thought leader?
I think the national thought leader piece for me is really about both recruiting as well as sales careers. In addition to real estate, I do a lot. So I'm a thought leader in a few different things. And this is a recent phenomenon in social media where people are talking about not niching down. Right? So there are people with multiple niches. So my niches kind of touch across financial education, financial independence, career success, headhunter knowledge, information about the headhunting industry, also recruitment information. Obviously, I run a recruitment business. So every day I'm a different thought leader depending on what people are coming to me for, right? Certain people follow me because of real estate stuff. Some people follow me because of the career advice. Some people follow me because of the feminist issues that I talk about, or the Asian stories that I share about my childhood, right? So you're able to capture different demographics by being really authentic and coming up with all the different content areas that make you an interesting creator that separates you from other creators.
How are you creating content and scheduling that?
I think for everyone it's going to look different because everyone has a different platform of choice. So obviously there are some people that are like specifically big on YouTube. Like that's their thing. They make YouTube videos. I don't really make a lot of YouTube videos. I do that very sporadically. It's not really on my radar. It hasn't been a humongous platform for me. I'm more used to using LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is sort of daily. Daily, I have to sit there and make a post. Ideally pre-noon, because that's when you get good engagement. It's like as early as possible because most people are working early in the morning and they're bored. They want to read something. So morning time LinkedIn is a good idea. Then sometimes I'll just get a stroke of inspiration and I'll write an afternoon post. Or sometimes at 8 o'clock I'll have an idea and I have to get it out. So it's not necessarily using like scheduling apps or anything. I've taken a very laissez-faire, very organic approach to content creation. This is a personal strategy. Obviously, there are people who either work with social media businesses that help them do this, or they themselves would use a scheduling tool. But I'm just more of a go with the flow. You know, whatever is in my brain, whatever is relevant, whatever like came to mind, that's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm always looking for content opportunities. If I get into work and something interesting happened on the New York subway, I'm going to make a story about it. I'm going to talk about what happened and say, this is what I thought about the situation, right? Whatever it is that comes to mind. And then the beautiful thing is you can leverage what you created on one platform, let's say TikTok. You can use that same video, put it up onto LinkedIn and add a blurb. And then you can also write an article about it onto LinkedIn. You can write an article about it on Quora if you wanted to. You can then put it onto Instagram and Facebook. So a lot of these platforms are helping you use the same content piece, but recycling it in a way. So I just kind of do what I can. I'm certainly not a perfectionist. If there is a strategy that's working for me, it's probably not being a perfectionist, because I think it's really hard to be perfect with content creation. Some days you're gonna get a great video that you can use in multiple platforms. Some days the video is too sensitive and it's only good for TikTok. So it just depends on what's happening in my brain and what platform is best suited for it and how I can spin it and use it across different platforms.
How do you grow a brand on social media? So what really popped?
My biggest following is on TikTok. I have over 150,000 followers. And the incredible thing about that was I got over 125,000 followers in literally, I think it was about a month, which is abnormally fast. In the way I did that, and I don't know if there is any method to the madness, this is why social media is so hard to pinpoint. Because I couldn't tell you. You can't really, you don't know. You don't know what did it. You don't know if it was that one viral video, over almost 4 million people watched it. So it's like, is it that video? I don't know, because I constantly, every single day, would create 10 videos when I started. It could be 12 videos. One day, I think I did even like 20 videos, because these videos are short and they're really easy to edit. So when I first started on TikTok, I was so obsessed with it. So I was just like making videos. And then in the recent days, like I was on traveling, I was like, vacationing, and I didn't have as much time. I wasn't creating 10 videos a day. And so the follower count kind of slows down. Now I'm doing 10 videos a day again, but the following count has not grown exponentially like it did in that first month. So it's really hard to say what is working, what's not working. I think social media is a long-term game. You're not going to see immediate results. And the immediate results don't even really matter, because on LinkedIn, I have about 20,000, something like that, followers, which isn't even a lot these days. I used to have close to 40,000 followers, but I deleted a bunch of people, because on LinkedIn, it's all about quality, right? So like every platform has a different route to money, right? So LinkedIn, because I run a recruiting business, it has the highest route to money, ROI, right? Like when I spend my time on LinkedIn, I get a lot more money than I do on TikTok, which you get paid extremely little, right? So it's like, what are you using these platforms for? How are they helping you? Most professional business women don't need a TikTok at all. They don't even really need Instagram or Facebook. LinkedIn is where you should be spending the majority of your time as a professional woman, if you're focused on professional promotion, right? And that's what my recruitment business is about. So while I talk about recruiting in TikTok and there's 150,000 people listening to it, that's not where I'm making my money. I'm making my money off the 20,000 people on LinkedIn hearing me talk about recruiting and consistently whittling down my first degree connections. Because there's a difference between followers and connections on LinkedIn, right? Followers are just people that follow you. You're not connected to them. First degree connections are the people that are able to message you. So those are the people that I'm quote unquote monetizing.
Are you making money per post, or the clients that are your followers are asking you for services for your business?
So on TikTok, you get paid on posts, and on Quora, you get paid on likes. So you do get paid, but they're relatively minimal. There are full-time content creators that all they do is do that, and they're able to put together a living. My main source of income is from my recruitment business. So LinkedIn is where I build my authority in this space, sharing information about sales, about recruitment career advice. And because I service recruiters, all of my customers are on LinkedIn. That is literally where they reside. And I'm a headhunter for these recruiters. And the clients are other recruitment firms. Right? So LinkedIn is where I'm going to get the most ROI. And the ROI, like I said, is long-term, because somebody might be following me since 2 years ago. And then today is when they decide I'm going to look for a new job. And who comes to mind? It's going to be me, right? It's either going to be me or my business partner who's also doing the same thing. So it's going to be one of us. We're going to capitalize and monetize that person who has been following us for anywhere from 1 week to 3 years. Right? They know that we're authoritative in this space, and they're going to reach out to us first. Obviously, in the line of recruiting, which is a very cutthroat, competitive business, that is the leverage and that is the advance we need. That's the competitive advantage we need, which is speed and monopoly. So if we have a monopoly on first action, like first level reach out, like the customer reaches us first, that's the win. Right? That's what social media is for, is brand recognition into a specific service. So when I think I need a tax guy or a tax gal, I think H&R Block, then you win. Then you win, because H&R Block then gets the first customer, right? It's like their game to screw up. And the same for me, right? If I just consistently build the same brand around recruiting, around sales, then every time someone in a recruiting situation, that person is going to think of me or my business partner.
Are you recruiting certain industries, certain executives?
I used to service pharmaceutical clients. They are not my clients. Like, that's not what I do now. That was something I did on the come up because I did not find a humongous passion for the pharmaceutical industry. So when I started my recruitment practice, I wanted to focus on an area that I'm very passionate about. And that's ironically my own career. My own career, agency recruitment, headhunters, right? Like, I was a very successful headhunter. I made a lot of money from this business at a young age, so much so that I financially retired, owned multiple properties from this business. If without recruiting, I would have never been able to achieve so much financial success at such a young age. So now I'm the headhunter for other headhunters. So essentially, I service a younger version of me. That's my customer, right? I'm servicing a top headhunter who's frustrated with her agency, her recruitment company, or his, right? And my goal is to move that candidate and move them from recruitment company A to one of my recruitment partners, right? My clients. So I have a book of clients. They're all recruitment firms. I only recruit for people who are passionate about the agency recruitment environment. So these are people that don't want to go into HR. They're people that don't want to quit the industry. They actually love the business the way I do and want to continue enriching themselves.
Where do you see yourself growing? Is it continually on LinkedIn or TikTok?
I am really passionate about creating coaching products, and this is something that I, again, have a unique access point, and there's a lot of demand for this, which is like, well, how do you become a top billing headhunter? What are headhunters that are billing a lot of money doing that is very different than the 80% of people who fail in this industry? So the next step for me is continue what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm still going to recruit recruiters. That will always be my core passion. But on top of that, it leads to coaching opportunities, whether that's on a one-to-one basis, whether that's working with my recruitment clients and or other recruitment firms that need the training, right? So I can train their staff on how to sell, how to recruit, how to build million-dollar desks, how to fix the broken processes in their business that's leading to low revenue generation, and helping them fix the areas that they're losing time and money on, which is usually like an incorrect deployment of their recruitment strategy and just their know-how, right? So that's gonna be another area of growth, but definitely just keep doing what I'm doing. On top of that, obviously get into the book writing business, really go heavy on continuing to sell my background, my story, share my story with the world, to show people what is achievable in both business and recruiting and real estate for Asian American women. So again, I can touch upon many different niches, and I fully intend to maximize every opportunity, every niche that I have a competitive advantage in.
What would you say to Asian American women today that are watching in terms of how to create wealth?
Every person is gonna have a different strategy. Some people are working a really nice corporate job that they don't mind. That was not the case for me. After 5 years, I was done. So it just depends on, part of my French, depends on how much crap you're willing to take, you know, because at the end of the day, there's different pain thresholds for everyone. And we all know, as Asian American women, a double minority, there's a lot of garbage and a lot of maltreatment in a predominantly white male environment. We all know what those microaggressions and or straight up aggressions look like. So with that in mind, what I decided to do was to get into a sales job at a very young age, because that was the way that I could leverage my God-given gifts of speaking and being a strong communicator to make as much money as possible. And that was my strategy, was that I can't work a traditional job that I'm competing against other people, because politically I will always be at a disadvantage. This is something that I realized without even having to go into the workforce formally. I just kind of knew it's likely gonna happen. So when I went to work, the objective was extremely clear. Make as much money as possible and bounce. That was always my strategy. Now, if the company treats me nice, I'll stay here for as long as it behooves me to enrich myself. If the company doesn't treat me nice, I'll fall into plan B. Plan B being investing into real estate. So I started buying real estate when I was 26 years old. I sacrificed a lot in terms of my lifestyle. I rent hacked, I didn't eat well, I didn't dress well, I didn't spend money on a ridiculous amount of nice things. I saved up all my money, put it into stocks, was able to get into the real estate market in 2013 in Brooklyn before things really popped. And that was a very lucky situation. So I think for women, for Asian American women, it's like, even if you love your job, which is wonderful, and I wish that everyone loved their job, the reality is you need a plan B. You need a plan B, whether it is bonds, which pay the lowest, but still works. I don't invest in bonds because I'm a high risk investor. So again, you got to do what's right for you. What is more suitable to you? I'm a salesperson. Real estate makes a lot of sense for me because I'm dealing with tenants all the time. I was also rent hacking, so I knew how to deal with these tenants. It's a hassle. It's mentally very draining. I wouldn't recommend it for like 90% of people I meet. So again, you gotta do what's best for you. For me, it was just real estate. For you, it could be crypto investing. It could be, you know, regular stock investing. I have no idea, right? I think people self-select, and you should go where your strengths are. If you're amazing at politics, White Collar America is a fantastic choice. I am not amazing at politics, so that I could not do that, right? So I think everybody has a different strategy, and it's important to always be selfish and self-serving and remind yourself that you're going to work for yourself. You are there to serve yourself and your self-interest. What is the best place and how are you going to deploy your time to best serve the only person that matters in your life, which is you. It's not your boss, it's not your colleagues, it's nobody else except you. So what are you gonna do with your strengths and how are you gonna leverage them?
That's incredible. Well, thank you today, Dandan. These are incredible just tips on how she became wealthy, independent, and also carved out her niche as a social media expert. We hope that helps all the viewers today, and we look forward to you next time.